and it wears us down. And then we're like, I'm really, really burned out. But are you? Or is it just this chronic sense of betrayal that has been unidentified, unmanaged year after year after year?
All right. So, welcome to the You Are Lawyer podcast. Lora Cheadle, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. And we were talking offline, and you were saying that you are in Colorado. What was today like for you? What's a typical day like?
Today actually was not a very typical day. On Fridays, it is all about me and working out and catching up and chilling out and preparing for the weekend.
Yeah. Okay. What
Yeah.
kind of things do you do to work out?
I actually teach fitness classes. Do you remember step aerobics? I
Yes.
have taught aerobics since 1988.
What? I love that.
Yes.
I
Me too.
love that. I mean, that's why this show exists, right? Let's talk about all the cool things that lawyers are doing outside of work. Okay. So,
Exactly.
today was atypical, but what's a typical day like for you? Are you just reviewing things all the time? I see you got a flamingo in the back. So, do you have typical days?
Actually, I don't have typical days because I am not actively practicing law. I am not representing clients. I am advising clients. So that means when I was practicing law, my typical day was I was corporate, I was in house. So the typical day then was you go to work, 8 to 5, you see clients, you review documents. It's just this kind of nonstop stop drive. Since I have pivoted and I have been advising, my days are flexible. Some days I'm just talking to clients. Other days I'm helping them draft some documents. Some days I'm reviewing. Other days I'm out getting new business. Some days I'm doing podcasts, but Fridays are always about me.
Yeah. I recently read a book. I'm a really big reader, and the author described it as finder, keeper, doer time. Right. So the finder is
Ooh.
when you're finding all the clients or new things. The keeper is the work you do to maintain the relationship. And then the doer is just like when you're actually in the consulting calls.
Yes. I love that. Well said, because it is a blend of all of it. And sometimes it's all about finding, sometimes it's all about doing.
Yeah, and I worked not in house, but I worked at a big law firm for 5 years, and I had to bill my time, and I fell
Yeah.
in love with it. And I still record it in a looser way, but for a while I was only doing doer time. Like it was like I was working in the business, and then it's like, no, you have to do the other parts too.
Yeah.
So I definitely still kind of record it on my
Hmm.
own to be like, keep an eye, and I'm like, oh, you're doing 8 hours of that. Outsource it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you said you fell in love with that because typically you hear the opposite.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, at the end of the day, you're like, what did I do all day? And then you have a
I
record
know.
of it. And especially in my creative pursuits, I have
Yeah.
to schedule 90 minutes to just like ideate and dream because I'll be working with clients like, so I record this podcast, but then I also launch podcasts for business owners. And so it's like, you have to build in time to innovate because I
Yes.
can't. Otherwise, I'm going to be writing emails and my brain is going to be firing at me ideas, and it's like, let's just schedule it in.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but so let's talk about the consulting work that you do.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that, and do you absolutely love it?
I absolutely love it. I have been doing it in one form or another for quite a few years, maybe close to 15, 18 years. When I was practicing law, I saw that there was so much darkness, negativity, heaviness. People just got so locked down and so stressed. And I actually was able to go part time. My company was amazing. They let me go part time, which was really, really helpful. And yet still, I burned out, as so many lawyers do. So that's why I started, pivoting into how do we manage this? How do we manage our expectations? How do we manage the workload? We're all bright, happy, driven people. How do we keep our fire lit? So I started doing that part time. That has built up. And then this is the plot twist. I went through an infidelity journey. And there was not a lot of great legal help out there. It was either, are you divorcing or what are you doing to stay? So I do a lot of my consulting with people who are experiencing the infidelity journey. Do we do a marital agreement? How do we prepare and look ahead? What divorce might look like? What might it look like with the kids? So that's what a lot of my consulting hours are right now.
Okay, somehow I missed that when I was preparing for this infidelity journey. First of all, I love that it's like a compassionate way of saying that, right? So that is
Yeah.
shocking, but it's shocking in like a calming way. Like, okay, what is this? And it's also it's acknowledging that it's not just one thing in a moment. It's a
Well,
journey. It's a journey,
yeah.
right? Journey to build back trust, journey to create what it's going to look like afterwards.
Yeah, and so many people are terrified of lawyers, and it's like, "No, no, no. I'm not gonna get in here and be mean. We're gonna have a conversation."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My brain is like, um, when you decided to go to law school and become a lawyer, had you known lawyers before, or were you the first in your family?
No, I've got an uncle who's a judge. I've got many lawyers in my family.
Okay, all right, cool. So, was
Yeah.
there, did anyone start to tell you, like, oh, I bet you're going to be a lawyer? Or did you kind of just come to it on your own?
I came to it on my own. In fact, just the opposite. A lot of people are like, "Are you sure you wanna do that?" And it was like, "Yes, I have a passion for justice. I wanna make things right," and I felt like the best way to do that was to go to law school so I could advocate for justice and I could help people make things right.
Okay. So, you go to law school, you get out. Did you go directly in house, or did you work for like a big law firm and then switch?
I actually worked for a boutique insurance defense firm, in California, and then I moved back to Colorado, and that's when I went in-house.
Okay, cool. So guests are always like, Kyla, I put this on the form, to which the audience doesn't know though. So I'm always like, they're like, Kyla, you always sound like it's your first time hearing. I'm like, well, that's part of it. That's part of hosting, right? But
Yeah.
we're introducing you to the audience and getting them a chance to be like, wait, what did she do? How did she get there? Oh, she had a judge. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Okay, all right. Boutique firm. Then you went in house and then you started consulting before you even were like, I'm going to do this on my own. I've decided.
Yeah.
So that transition between like working and then you being burnt out.
It was long and messy and convoluted. It was one of those things I think many people can relate. Practicing law can kind of wrap up on you, and you become more and more stressed, more and more busy. At the same time, I was having kids. I had 2 kids 22 months apart. That's a lot. At the same time, my husband, who's also a lawyer, got a job where he had to work out of state 2 weeks out of every month. So suddenly I'm single mom working full-time plus. On top of that, 3 out of 4 of my grandparents who also lived nearby went into hospice with different phases of cancer and emphysema. So there was an extreme drain, both personally and professionally on me. And you fight for a long time. Like I can get help, I can get help. And then at some point, it's like I'm killing myself and I'm not serving my clients, nor am I serving my family or my friends. All I'm doing is treading water and slowly sinking. Something has got to give.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that with your grandparents. And I am happy that you survived all of that, right? Because I have a 4-year-old and I'm listening and I'm like, yeah, I'm reminding myself to breathe because I'm like, oh, I remember some of that. She's a pandemic baby. And so
Oh,
when we were getting married, we're like, oh my God, whose mom's going to be in the delivery room? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And in the pandemic, and we're like, can my husband come in the room, please?
right, please.
Everything switched, right? And so it's isolating. It's isolating,
Yes.
right? You're like, these are my kids. Of course I can handle it. That doesn't mean I want to handle it by myself. That doesn't mean I don't want someone else to lean on or even like, I tell my husband, I'm like, you just need another person to even roll your eyes at.
Yeah.
You're like, want to be a good parent, but also, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So a
Yeah.
slow transition. And then you're like, okay, well, since everything I thought I had was changing, I'm going to create my own rules.
Yeah. I had mentioned at the beginning that I had taught aerobics, step aerobics since 1988. That was kind of where I started leaning into it. It was like fitness was my respite. It was the place where I could just go burn out that stress. So I rolled into, you know what? I can be a mom. I can support because my husband's out of town all the time. I can kind of teach fitness part time. And then I was like, wait a minute. This is not just about working out and becoming a size 2. That's not what this is about. People need to somatically process stress. People need to learn how to breathe. Good posture makes a difference in the way that we can breathe, in our brain functioning. And it just started, it was a rabbit hole I started going down. Okay, how can I be physically healthy, not be an artificial size 2 and not eat and not be healthy? So it's like fitness leads to nutrition, which led me to going back to school to become a clinical hypnotherapist because I wanted to start doing the neuroplasticity. So it was just like things started rolling and wellness became a broader and bigger concept.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Lawyers are incredibly smart. And so I love it when we realize there's even more that we don't know, right?
Yeah.
I recently
Yes.
found out the term neuroplasticity, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. For me, I came to it on a kind of negative, darker side because I was just like, I know everything. And then all of a sudden I was like bombarded with, you know nothing. And I was like, oh, but our brains are elastic and we have that plasticity to where we can grow and change and stretch. So it was kind of like, no, Kylie, you put yourself in this box. Guess what? You can
Yes.
get out of it. So,
Yes. Yes.
okay. All right. So I love this because this entire podcast is all about humanizing lawyers and talking about the fact that we are people on
Yes.
top of the jobs that we have. Okay. Aerobics instructor, and then you decided that no, all over wellness and health is important more than just your size, which changed with the decades, right? In the 80s, it
Totally.
definitely was just look like this. Who
Yes.
cares? We're
Yes.
all suffering on purpose to be that size too. And now it's more like intuitive eating. How about you just
Yes.
eat vegetables instead of a protein bar? You know what I
Yes.
mean? A little bit more of that. So, did your friends and family think you were absolutely wild, or were they like,
Yes.
this makes sense for Lora? This makes sense that she would go on this.
A little bit of both. They were concerned. They're like, "You spent how much in law school, loans? You spent how many years and you're walking away?" And then at the same time, they're like, "Yeah, I can see that. You've got really young kids, you're being a single mom, and this is your personality. You are way more passionate. You are way more connected to people instead of just behind a desk arguing all the time." So it was a little bit of both. There was concern that I might be losing my ever loving mind. And then there was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, two lawyers together, I'm sure. It's like, wait, what? No, this is what we were going to do. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I haven't asked you this. What is the name of your business?
My business is life choreography, coaching, and advocacy. And I selected that name because, like a dance, we've got the choreography, but the choreography doesn't always work as planned. So, what do you do when the choreography isn't working? How do you improvise in a way that gives you a result? Maybe not the originally desired result, but a positive result. And it's the coaching and the advocacy. Something I have really come to realize, I'm curious your take on this. Lawyers can really advocate on behalf of other people, but sometimes when it comes to identifying our own boundaries and advocating on behalf of ourselves, oh, we stink.
We do, which is so backwards because I would have never described myself as a people pleaser, but the lack of
Mhm.
boundaries was people pleasing. And I think that kind of, for me, it came from the big law office. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, 20-year partner, if he tells
Yeah.
me to do it, of course.
I'm doing
Right.
it.
And then you kind of are like, well, what if I just email back received? When would you like this? And then you're like, oh my gosh, don't fire me.
Yes.
Oh, next week is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we take these little baby steps, but it takes time for that. I think it probably took me 4 years to even be able to be like, what would you like this to do? Instead of dropping everything, doing it now.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's weird like that. But I was gonna say now my boundaries are too strong. My mom will be like, "Do you want to do something in 3 weeks?" I'm like, "I'm not interested in that." She's like, "What do you have going on?" Nothing. I'm not interested in
Just
that.
not interested. Yeah.
She's like, "Oh,
I like that
okay."
though.
So, coaching, consulting, and advocacy. So, do you only work with lawyers or former lawyers?
No, that's kind of where I start, and then it expands from there. Definitely, my niche is high achieving professionals. I've got physicians, anesthesiologists, accountants. I've got some people in professions that are fairly intense.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is that high achiever mentality. I can, just like you were saying, I can do it. I can do it. Yes, you can, but do we have to?
And do you specifically have to, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I think that's the part of me that, well, it used to be a badge of honor when you would get those billable receipts and you get your book and you're just like, I know I've been here every day, but I didn't realize it was all this. And
Yes.
it was like, wow, this is my brain on paper.
Yes.
And now it's kind of the flip of that, where it's like, oh, I think I need a third assistant. That's also your brain on paper, because it's like, wow, like look at how you're expanding and growing. Okay, cool. So these high achieving professionals that you work with, do they find you? Do people refer you to them, or what happens?
I'm a combination of both. I also do a lot of speaking and training, like some CLEs on burnout, why it's not burnout. It's a sense of betrayal, how to identify that, how to manage it, how to talk about expectations. And then people will come up to me afterwards and they'll be like, wow, this resonates. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that sense of betrayal.
Ooh, it's a big one. It's a big
Is it
one.
personal betrayal?
It can be. Okay. If you think about betrayal, betrayal is defined as the breaking of an expectation that you have relied on that ruptures your view of yourself or the world. So if you think about, we go to law school, what do we expect? I expect to be a successful lawyer. I expect to maybe work as an associate for X number of years and then become partner. I expect to be able to all of these things. These are things that are in our head that sometimes we don't ever step back and identify. So then life happens. We have our first, annual review or whatever. We are not given a huge raise. We are not given a better office. We do not make partner. And it's this sense of betrayal. Nobody expressly or explicitly betrayed us, but we have the feeling this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what this is supposed to be like. And it's this sense of betrayal. Layer on things like COVID. That was a huge sense of betrayal. I never expected that. What do you mean I can't have somebody in the delivery room with me? What do you mean? Like, those are small betrayals. And then after so many years of personal and professional betrayals, we start getting cynical. Yeah, that's never going to work out. No matter how hard I work, they're not going to notice me. Yeah, another client. And we start getting that attitude and it wears us down. And then we're like, I'm really, really burned out. But are you? Or is it just this chronic sense of betrayal that has been unidentified, unmanaged year after year after year?
Yeah. Once you transition to that cynical side, you start looking for the evidence of the betrayal, and then it starts like compounding,
Yeah.
and then you're like, see, I told you, see. And it's like, yeah, wow. Okay. So is there a way that people can deal with the root of that betrayal, like before it blossoms, or you don't even work with them for that? By the time they see you, they've been betrayed for years.
But that's part of the work that I do. The work that I do is encompassed in the acronym FUELUP. And when you use that acronym Fuel Up, and I'll walk you through that too, but it helps you identify and uncover what's going on with you now, but it also helps prevent future ruptures because now you've got this framework that you're applying. So you're more apt to be able to say, you know what? That felt like a betrayal. And like to your point, I don't need to start looking for evidence that they don't see me, they don't appreciate me, they never, but we stay fresh and we're able to manage it along the way.
Wow. Okay. So have you written a book? You should put this in a book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I have.
I'm like, this is so good because at least for me, it's pulling together a lot of things that I hear from other people and kind
Yes.
of like, and yeah, I'm like, somebody else should know about this. Okay, so what is the title of your book?
It's called It's Not Burnout, It's Betrayal, 5 Tools to Fuel Up and Thrive.
I love that. I love that.
Thank
So tell
you.
me about the book writing process. How was that?
For me, it's combination of fun and, "Oh my gosh, why isn't this done? I want it done now." "What do you mean I have to go through the process? I just want it done."
Yeah, yeah. Did you start with the first chapter, or did you kind of start with what was motivating you and then kind of build onto it?
This is my second book. For this book, I tended to go kind of start to finish because it's a framework I know, it's a framework I have used. My keynote, my training, everything is built around it. So I was more able to just take the framework that I already knew, begin at the beginning, flesh it out, and voila, I had a book.
Yeah. Are you going to write more?
Yes.
Usually when people write books, they're like, it was tough, but I've done tough things before. And then the other side, when you get to see the impact of it, it's
Yes.
nothing really compares to that. You're like, that's my name on a book.
Exactly. I love this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So you're still teaching aerobics.
Of course I am.
You're writing books,
Mhm.
consulting with high achieving professionals.
Mhm.
Do you mind if I ask how old are your children?
They're in their 20s. My oldest actually just graduated from law school.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations
Yeah.
to them. Okay.
Thanks.
So, yeah, what do you do to maintain all of it? I mean, I know you said the working out and the exercise, but like, what does that look like for you? Are you like, okay, because
Yeah.
I'm doing all these things, now I'm just sitting on the porch drinking coffee?
I am really in a growth phase of my business, so I am working a lot. I am working more than I, air quotes, should be working, but I'm so passionate about it. And I'm so driven. And, people like you, it's like I meet people, I'm like, oh my God, this person is amazing. And look what they're doing. And it just spurs the creative energy. And because I'm not taking care of kids, I'm not working for somebody else, I've got the time to do it and I'm loving it. But I'm also traveling. I'm also spending time hanging out on the beach. And I'm also consciously putting in a lot of playtime because being type A, I can get lost in work. So I'm trying to choose to read books, to just turn on the music and dance, to just go to the mall and walk around because I haven't walked around there for 10 years, things like that.
Yeah. My husband and I, we went to the movies yesterday at like 3:30 to see Mission Impossible, like the eighth one. And I hate going to the movies. But halfway through, I was like, I actually can't think about anything else while I'm here. This is
Yeah.
kind of nice, especially for it to be a genre I don't usually watch. I was
Mhm.
completely engrossed and I was like, oh, my snacks are gone. But that was really once I kind of looked up and was like, I haven't thought about anything for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that
Oh,
nice?
it is.
Yeah.
I would prefer to be doing that with a book, but I was like, wait, there might be something to it because it's all the senses. And I was like,
Mhm.
I may have to look into this. So that might be some of my like built-in play, maybe like once a quarter.
Yeah, I like that. But and like to your point, both of my boys love Star Trek, and I never really grew up watching Star Trek. So about a year ago, they're like, "Hey, just start binge watching it." Well, now my husband and I every night we're like, "All right, we've been through the original series, now we're doing," and it's like it's just fun and it's silly and it's little and it's stupid, but it's fun because we're like, "Hey, what's going on with Star Trek?"
And it's so different from everything else going on around you, and you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, "I can take this 30 minutes," and same thing, I don't think about anything else.
Part of that neuroplasticity, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ask every guest, Laura, what would you say to young lawyers, 5 years practicing or less, or law students about what they could do with their law degree?
Who I will say you could absolutely do more than you think. There is not one career out there that will not be benefited by your legal knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, literally, you've named like
Literally.
five different things here. It's true. It's true. It's true. I hope that lawyers and law students now are growing up and they're looking and they're like, wow, that lawyer's doing this, that lawyer's doing this. It doesn't have to be the one or two things
Yeah.
because I got out of law school 10 years ago. And even then, it was still like this or that.
Yeah.
It was very much so this or that. And I hope that they're seeing the other side.
Yeah. And my son, because he's going through that now, he's studying for the bar right now, and he is definitely locked in. And he's like, I don't know why I did this. I don't think I want to practice law. And same thing, it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a real estate agent, you can review documents. Like, truly, trust me, you think differently now. The way you think is going to benefit any employer.
Absolutely. I mean, even from me being at a big law firm to then I started this podcast right as I was about to leave. I didn't know I was about to leave, but like I think I started doing this and I was like, oh, there's all these different things you can do.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here with you with a lawyers are fun shirt. And I love to wear it because people are like, are they? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe. But I
Yes.
mean, I review all the contracts, I review all the partnership agreements, I do this. And then it spun into starting my own business. And it's like, it never turns off. That legal training and education goes with you everywhere. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. And even like I'm sitting on a couple boards, sit on some boards you can advise.
Yeah. Because the law impacts everything. Like, truly, truly, truly.
Yes. And even think about what I was saying with infidelity, and divorce. I'm not doing the divorce, but I can tell you about the process. The process terrifies people. Well, let me tell you, if this is what it means to serve process. This is what it means to file. That's hugely valuable.
It is. And I would even say that the part that you're doing has a greater impact, right? I mean, yes, somebody has to
Yeah.
go and file it, but like, then you have to live with what happened. There's still more than that, the couple technical things that have to be done. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay that you're not doing that one piece because that's literally just one piece of
One
this whole
piece.
puzzle. So, I
Yeah.
love that. What a fascinating way to look at betrayal and like getting your feelings hurt. I've definitely had my feelings hurt at work, and you're just like, I don't even know them. That's just, and it's like, no, but your feelings are hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how to process that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, because we don't want to care because it's just my colleague. But
Right.
no,
But we do.
we do. We
We
do.
do.
We definitely do. I know. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Thank you so much. This was absolutely fantastic. So, if you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for your attention. All of Laura's details will be in the episode notes. And if you're listening, as usual, thank you for your attention. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.